owners of those accountable for their guests. When their guests come and they violate city ordinances, whether it be for noise or trash or parking, we hold them accountable. We enforce the laws of the city as they exist today. I think that will go a long way towards helping us manage short-term rentals. Yes, we do provide a 2% additional tax for short-term rentals, just as if they were a hotel.
Well, as you may know, this issue is before City Council right now, and we've been wrestling with it for a few months. There is a way, to answer part of your question, there is a way to have a cap. You could pass a cap on how many there are. That's something being considered. There's a lot of different things being considered. There is a sales and use tax, and as Steve mentioned, the A&P tax on short-term rentals, just like a hotel would have. And I've looked at the numbers recently, and you know, we're getting some, that money's never been a big issue with council. We're getting some money from it, but there's a lot of things we're getting more from. We're getting more from building, internet sales, grocery. There's a number of things, but it's a significant amount of money, but it's not change your life kind of money. It's more an issue of trying to regulate them so that you're fair to the owners of short-term rentals, but also fair to the other citizens that are concerned about it.
Yeah, so I think most of the answers have already been said, but yeah, I mean, the platforms that host the Airbnb and VRBO, they already collect the sales tax. The A&P tax is already collected, so they pay in the full amount of sales tax all the way across the board to be able to be on that platform, and then they're also paying an additional 2%. They pay the highest tax rates in Bella Vista all the way across the board. Nobody pays more sales tax than Airbnbs do right now. Just historically, what Steve said, you know, about vacation rentals. The vacation rentals numbers right now, and we're running at a little under 3% short-term rentals in Bella Vista at one point in time. The numbers aren't really clear on how many homes there were in Bella Vista at the same time. I think estimations are about 10,000 homes in Bella Vista, which puts when vacation rentals was running at about 6% of the homes in Bella Vista. So per capita, we were double before what we are now. And so, but we have ordinances to protect all the nonsense next door. So if they're too loud, they're messy, they park in the street, any of that kind of stuff, call. We've got multiple ways between the ACC, code enforcement, the police. There's lots of different ways to report people that are doing nonsense next door, just the same as you would if your actual full-time neighbor was doing the same thing.
Thank you. One more question, then we're going to cut it off. Go ahead.
I've looked at each of your websites, and quite frankly, you can't tell one from the other. So why are you the best candidate to be mayor of Bella Vista?
That's an excellent question. That is such a good question, and that's why this morning is so important. And these opportunities, not to look at the website, and I put a lot of work into mine, I'm sure these gentlemen did too. I wanted you to know who I am and what I'm about. But the most important distinction you can draw is when you see us together trying to answer questions, you see who we are, what our energy is, what we're about. This is your opportunity to make those distinctions. Why me? I've talked about it. I've had a strong work ethic my whole life. I've always been about that. I've had the opportunity to lead large teams. I've had the opportunity to manage complex budgets. I believe life experience matters, management experience matters, leadership experience matters, city experience matters. That's why I think I'm your best choice to be the next mayor of Bella Vista. Thank you.
Thank you for that question. As you may have heard or noticed, if some of you have read the materials, I do have some materials over here where you can get more information about my background. It's pretty easy because a lot of it's printed out right on there, plus websites and Facebook sites and all that sort of thing. I have more time, more experience on city council and all those other committees on city council. You know, I was rattling off to you all the different things I was on. To be clear, if you're mayor pro tem, or you're on the advertising promotion commission, or you're on the streets committee, you get exactly $0 for all those. Every city council person gets about $700 a month. And you can just show up to the work session in the city council meeting and do nothing else, and that's okay. It's not illegal. It's not unethical, nothing wrong with it. Or you can do all these extra things and do all this extra work. To me, it shows you're a harder worker, you care more about the city, you want to get more involved, and you learn a lot of things. And all these extra activities I'm in, like the Bella Vista Foundation, the History Museum, Rotary. The other day I was at Rotary. This is a regular meeting. And Barry Mooring, the county judge who runs the county, was there. Nathan Smith, who's chief prosecutor for the county. You know, we talk about having a safe community and police and all. As any of you who watch the news know, the prosecutor makes a big difference too. The police can do everything right if the prosecutor's gonna let everybody out or not do his job. So you're in there talking to the chief prosecutor, the head, the sheriff's department was there. So all these extra activities sound like, oh, you're just, you know, it's just a meeting. It's not. You meet important people, you hear what's going on, all those things help you. And, you know, my education, my work experience, everything, I think, points to me having a better background. And these are great guys. These are good guys. Anybody who's willing to go through this and try and get this job, you have to give them credit for caring about the city. But my background's just stronger. It just is. Thank you.
Sir, before you speak, I got a question when you're done, please, because this gentleman is trying to shut me up. You got
For me specifically,
We're gonna cut it off.
I'm fine to just talk with you after, and I can answer 50 questions if you want, so I'm happy to do
I'd
that.
like to just discuss one among everyone.
That's fine. So, I've lived in Bella Vista for my adult life. I've invested in Bella Vista for my entire life. I chose to raise my kids here, build businesses here. I know what that looks, I know what that feels like. I've got a long-term investment in the community. I'm not gonna lie, my resume is shorter than theirs, but some of them got a 30-year head start on me. So it isn't a surprise. It isn't a surprise that they have a little bit more experience in some categories than I do. I'm 41 years old. I've done a lot in 41 years. I've lived in another country. I've built 2 businesses. I'm raising 5 awesome, beautiful, healthy, happy, intelligent kids. If you've met any of my kids, I get so many compliments on them. We're working really hard for that. I grew my business. I started it at the end of 2006. Into 2008 was a recession. I grew my business every year during one of the biggest recessions ever. I mean, building in Northwest Arkansas came to a screeching halt, and my business grew every single year. I know what it takes to build a business in a poor economy. We're going into a recession, whether you like it or not. It's happening. We've already had the negative economic growth. I don't think we've felt a lot of the impacts of it. Inflation's up. There's things that are up. We have people coming to our community to ride bikes. They're spending money here. We need them to spend more money here. I mean, let's give them a retail option. Where do you buy clothes? Where do you buy this? Where do you buy that? Well, we don't have that in Bella Vista. You don't have an option to buy here. As citizens of Bella Vista, there's many things that we want and we spend our money on every day that you don't have the option to buy them in Bella Vista. You have to drive to Missouri. I mean, our local economy is getting out-competed by a town that really doesn't even exist in Missouri. I want to make Bella Vista healthier economically. I want to make this a place that's thriving. I mean, we potentially have, can change, a lot of Bella Vista in a really positive, healthy way. When I first announced that I was running, I asked Peter Christie if he'd meet with me so we could talk about, just kind of the role of the mayor, and I had several questions for him. But the first thing he said to me is, I'm happy that you're running. He said, the Intergovernmental Council, he knows all the mayors, and he said small business owners, make the best mayors. He said it's the only kind of job you can have where you see all the aspects of everything. I am our HR guy. I'm our IT guy. I'm our legal counsel. I'm our salesman. I do all these different things. I see all these different aspects of so many different things with the business. I mean, yeah, you know, at Walmart, I got buddies, they manage hundreds of millions of dollars worth of money, and they sell like Mother's Day gift packages. You know, and the budget's incredible, but it's like such a small percentage of anything. It's one holiday for a really short period of time, and they figure out what they're going to bundle up in that package. And so big numbers aren't as much as just, you know, general experience. And so I have that. I bring that here. I have a long-term investment in the community. I have tons of energy to do this. I've been campaigning like crazy. See my stuff everywhere. I'm working super hard for this, and I'll continue to do this for Bella Vista.
Thank you. Good question.
I want to thank the candidates for being here this morning. I also want to thank Jack Doyle for setting this up. I think if you have an additional question, you can talk with the candidates here after. And with that, we're going to take a 5-minute break to allow the people to leave. But before we do that, we are going to have a 50-50 drawing. We're going to have 3 ticket drawings. The green ticket that you bought at the table, if you pull it out please now, there'll be 3 individual prizes. The first ticket is 866129. Second ticket is 866142.
It's no good. How many more to get?
Understand we have a mutual friend, Ian Brown.
Oh, absolutely. This is my best friends.
Yeah. This is her today.
Last is
Oh, yeah. We did a lot of work together.
Illinois now.
She's really close to her family. She's really close to her family. She likes to travel.
Always got one. Yeah. John? Talk about the treasure. As long as you're on that. tonight we're going to resume by having a business meeting. Call the business meeting to order. Attention, please. We are going to resume the meeting, please.
Next time at the minute.
I'll give you one more minute. The people that do not want to stay for the meeting, and then we're going to resume the meeting.
I've got a couple for you.
Gentlemen, we're going to call the meeting to order. Meeting is called to order. Gentlemen, the meeting is called to order. Thank you. So the first business that we have today is the approval of the minutes as they are emailed and on your table. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes and treasurer's report. I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report. I have a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Minutes and the treasurer's report are approved. I want to introduce to you our treasurer, our secretary. Would you please come on up here? Stand up. I'm very happy to introduce Troy Hoover as our secretary for this next fiscal year. Troy is married with 4 grown kids and 6 grandchildren. He's a retired assistant chief of police from a medium-sized city in Kansas in 2018. After a 30-year career in law enforcement, he moved to Bella Vista and is employed with the University of Arkansas as a safety and training manager. Troy is raised in the Protestant faith. However, he has attended the Catholic Church for the last 30 years with his family. He recently completed RCIA classes in 2021 and came into the Catholic Church officially on Easter of 2022. Please welcome our new secretary, Troy Hoover. Then I want to make an announcement. There's the placard over there. Oktoberfest is October 22nd, 2 weeks from today, after Mass, at 6 o'clock in the hall here. We will have our social, and then at 7 o'clock we will have our dinner. We plan to have a great agenda. Our meal is going to be a grilled bratwurst garnished with stewed buttered onions. We'll have warm German potato salad, sweet sour red cabbage, a pretzel roll, and this year we're going to feature baked Bavarian pretzels as an hors d'oeuvre with mustard dip. There will be hot coffee and tea and water available, and we will have a beer garden that will be operated by the Knights of Columbus. So we're going to have the Highland Winds Quartet playing German music as we come in. There will be German music as a background while we eat, and there will also be music to, if you feel like dancing afterwards. So please join us. It's going to be a great event, I'm sure. Thank you. One of the things that we're going to do for Oktoberfest is we're going to have a sign-up genius on the computer. Bob will set that up, and we're going to need some assistance with setting up the hall, serving, and cleanup for the Oktoberfest.